make good money, all right? But we own a hair salon, me and my wife. My wife was a hairstylist, doing hair. One day she was real tired talking about what happened in the shop with all the people, because there's a lot of drama there. I said, well, you know, it's time for us to do something different. And see, we started with nothing. There was no wall, just 4 walls, excuse me, because there was 2 flimsy walls. 2 flimsy walls and 2 walls made out of brick. And today we're sitting inside, and she's doing work inside our imagination. Because, see, we were in church when Dr. Mike said, what's on the canvas of your imagination? And I started scribbling it out on a paper. And then we took it to an architect. And the architect drew it up. And then he had to take it to the engineer. And the engineer did his part. And then he took it to so-and-so. And then we found a contractor. And then we went through the process of getting that. Today, she can walk in her own shop. And she don't have to deal with the drama. She can turn the lights on when she feels like turning on the lights. She has total power. I love it because when my wife don't feel like doing it, she don't have to. We're not in no situation where she has to, oh, I got to go to work. Where's we goes do? You know, we're not there no more. Now, I could have used all that life experiences to give myself a reason to be drunk outside on the curb somewhere or to be shot up down in the middle of such and such. I went in the military because I didn't want to get killed. Because in my neighborhood, brothers was dying. So I decided I'm getting out of here. I'm out. So let me say this one thing.
So on this, because
I know we ran out of time.
I want to see a practical way that we can go home and start eliminating some debt now. Give me one quick practical.
This is the #1 quick, practical, simple process. People spend thousands of dollars to go to people to tell them this simple thing. Get a piece of paper right now, blank it out, and just write straight down every single thing that you've been sending out. So all of your debt.
So
car note,
I'm writing
house
down,
note,
okay.
Credit card 1, credit card 2. You know the average credit card is over 10 credit cards in America? Families have over 10 credit cards. They're living totally on credit. They're sending their kids to college on credit and not even thinking about the compound interest on that, but that's a whole nother class, all right? Then you do this. In the next column, you put how much you pay, what you've been regularly paying.
So you mean what I'm paying
every month?
Okay.
Right? So you got the bill, what it is. Then you have the next line, what you've been paying. Then outside on the next line, you're going to call the bank, you're going to find out what is the minimum I can pay without incurring any penalties. You're going to have that minimum. Then you're going to go to the bottom of your list because that's the smallest one, because you should go from the largest debt to your smallest debt. Don't worry about interest rate. All right, let me put a caveat. There are 1 or 2 reasons why you should worry about interest rate, but in this scenario, 90% of us don't even have to worry about that because we just need to deal with the debt. So here you go. You put the lowest one, and on that lowest one, you take that and you pay it off. Then you don't eat the seed. You don't eat it. It's not good. Don't eat that. Don't eat that. Don't stop.
So when I pay that off, that's not extra money.
That's going to be now you're supercharging your money to the next debt. Then you call them and you say, I want to put all of this amount above the minimum amount on the principal balance. If you don't tell them that, you'll be doing all this work, and it's just like swimming in the middle of the ocean. You're just like, help me. You're not doing anything, all right? You have to get permission from your bank. Now, let me say this. Some banks will charge you a fee for paying off debt early. You need to find that fee out because you'll probably find that that fee is nothing compared to how much you pay over time. I want you to go back, and if you have a Visa card or something like that right now, go look at it and look at if you paid the minimum, how many years it would take to service that debt. In some cases, it's over 200 years. Nobody's expecting you to pay that bill. They already know the math before they gave it to you. And then you do the same thing to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. Somebody asked me about the house debt. Your house debt can be paid in less than 7 to 10 years. That's a savings of over 100 to 300, depending on how much you pay. Now, you paying $500,000, you probably could get that house for $3 something and save yourself $200,000. Most people don't have the ability to make the amount of payments that they can make. So here's what you do. I'm just going to use $100,000 as an example. $100,000 at the top. You got 12 months, right? That means you're paying how much a month? 12. You're paying $1,000 a month, right? Because you only pay $100,000 a month. To pay extra, you would have to pay extra each month, correct? And they tell you, well, you got to split it in half, or you got to do this or do that. Here's what you do. You just take 17% above what the average, what that payment is. So if it's $1,000, you pay $1,000 and whatever 17%, which I think is 100, was it 170. That's the extra amount you're going to pay every single month. And over time, it's going to compound, because what's going to happen again,
But you want that
you go to the principal,
right.
So you got to call them up and talk to them. And this is Navy, Federal, all of them. There's a few banks that will not allow you to do it, and all I would do was move my mortgage to a different banker if I can. I mean, you can, but it might take you something. You might have to buy yourself out of that mortgage to a better mortgage so you can pay down on that mortgage. Everybody understand that? Was that too much, too quick? All right, I know this was beneficial to you. I know that God has his eye on you for making this change, because see, we have a mandate at this church as a gateway church. Number one, we need to be debt free. With the vision that's on this house, we can't do it with nickels and dimes.
And it's the thing about it is Pastor Mike's heart that Lottie, Dottie, and everybody in this ministry, everybody that has been assigned to him, walk yourself out of your debt and be in control. And we got to do it. We got to do it, and it's going to take some discipline. The Bible said the hand of the diligent, those are the ones that's going to rule. If you're not diligent in business, you are not going to be ruled. Somebody's going to rule you. And you can tell by looking at people's lifestyle that we've been ruled, because it's like off to work we go. We going to work, and we got to go. I mean, some people can't even retire because they still got to keep on working. And so we got to really put ourselves in a position, and especially husband and wives, you got to sit down sometime and let's talk this thing out. Because watch this. There's some holidays coming up pretty soon, y'all. And there's some special holidays. And holidays that some of us are already highly developed in spending. Like Christmas, you're highly developed in spending money that you don't have. And you need to start disciplining yourself and come up with a plan. We're not going to be spending the kind of money we've been doing in the past, because we're working on something. And can you imagine if you could take some of that money that you're spending for Christmas and put it towards paying a debt, how fast you can get out? I'm telling you, and when you start getting out of certain areas, you're going to feel a whole lot of, some people stress, strain, and struggle will leave just like that. So let me ask you this. If we had like a Saturday workshop, and we talk about, because we got people inside the ministry already, and I talked to some of them today, and they are willing to carve out some time out of their schedule real soon, like in the next 3 or 4 weeks. And we had like a workshop on a Saturday. It'll start maybe like 9 o'clock in the morning and maybe to 1 or whatever. Just something, a workshop, so we can, so they can expound on